activities have been taking place at the V. Luna Medical Center. The President has since read the reports of the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission and the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff, General Carlito Galvez. Based on the reports, several high-ranking officials and employees of V. Luna Medical Center, Health Service Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines undertook anomalous purchases of equipment and engaged in fraudulent transactions, including ghost purchasing, splitting of contract to circumvent mandatory bidding processes, and conceiving fictitious suppliers. President Duterte has ordered the relief and court-martial proceedings against the top military brass, which includes Brigadier General Edwin Leo Torrela Vega, Commander of the AFP Health Service Command, Colonel Antonio Punzalan, Commander of the V. Luna Medical Center, Chiefs of Management and Fiscal Office, and the Logistics Office of the AFP HSC, among others. The Chief of Staff, General Carlito Galvez, has also said that he will immediately relieve General Torrela Vega and Colonel Punzalan immediately and will convene court-martial proceedings against them without prejudice to the investigation to be conducted by the Ombudsman for the Military. On habagat, patuloy po ang aming pagpapaalala sa publiko na maging alerto at ligtas. Mamayang hapon ay personal na titignan ng Pangulo ang mga binahang lugar sa Metro Manila. Kanyang ipinag-utos sa mga ahensya ng gobyerno na paintingin ang mga serbisyo sa mga naapektuhan at siguraduhin ang kaligtasan ng lahat. According to the most recent update from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, a consolidation of the effects of habagat enhanced by tropical cyclones Henry, Inday, Josie, and Carding as of 6 a.m. today, August 13, 978 areas have experienced flooding in regions 1, 3, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, 6, 10, CAR, and NCR, of which floodwaters in 778 areas have already subsided. As of this morning, a total of 133,812,308 worth of assistance was provided by the Office of Civil Defense, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, the Department of Health, local government units, and non-government organizations with affected families in Regions 1, 3, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, 6, NCR, and CAR. Ito ang panahon ng pagkakaisa at bayanihan. Lubos kami nagpapasalamat sa lahat sa patuloy na pagkakaabot ng tulong sa ating mga kababayan. Good news, despite the earlier bad news, we welcome the results of the 2018 United Nations E-Participation Index, where the Philippines scored a very high EPI. Specifically, the country ranked 19th out of 193 countries. This is a huge improvement compared to the country's 216 EPI rank of 67. As a component of the biennial UN e-government survey, the EPI specifically measures the government's efforts in using online services or tools to enhance access to information and public services and to promote better public policy decision-making. We expect to get a better ranking as we promote GovTech, Government Technology, with the passage of Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Government Service Delivery Act. Another good news, magandang balita po sa mga magsasaka ng kape. Naglaan ng halagang 354.6 million ng Department of Agriculture para sa pagpapalago ng produksyon ng kape sa ating bansa na inaasahang makakaani ng 214,626 metric tons sa taong 2022. This is part of the goals of the Philippine Coffee Industry Roadmap 2017-2012 in achieving to make the country coffee self-sufficient. The Coffee Industry Roadmap is a collaboration between the DA, the Department of Trade and Industry, which aims to help coffee farmers attain inclusive growth through a value chain approach, as well as increase and sustain yields and incomes, improve farm productivity, and enhancement of farmers' capabilities and skills. Questions, please.
Tuesday New. Hi, sir. Sir, kailan po magiging effective itong pagsibak doon sa high-ranking officials ng AFP at sino ang kanilang magiging kapalit?
Sa pag-uusap ko po kanina lang kay Chief of Staff, no, meron na raw siyang memorandum, no, na rinirelieve itong mga officers ng militar behind this anomaly sa V. Luna, and that should be effective upon receipt of the officers. No? Wala pa pong name sa kapalit. Now, tomorrow, they will be releasing a larger report. The report that they have now only involves ghost transactions, no? Ghost deliveries involving 1.491,570,000, no? Meaning 1,491,570,000 pesos worth of ghost deliveries. But there are a series of transactions involving almost hundreds of millions of pesos, no? So they will be releasing subsequent reports in due course.
Follow up, Joseph Morong.
Sir, how did they discover the anomalous acts?
I don't know if I'm at liberty, but they had the whistleblower. And of course, the whistleblower went to the proper channels that did the investigation. The president ordered the Presidential Anti-Graft Commission to investigate, and he also ordered the Chief of Staff to look into the matter.
The investigation period started when and ended when?
I have no dates, but the reports came in last Monday, which explains why the president was very aggravated in talking about corruption in the last cabinet meeting, because there was the issue of both Naing Pilipino and Viluna, which information which he had just received concerning fraudulent activities in both agencies.
So, sir, this practice has been going on for several years, I suppose?
Yes, it did not just start during the administration of President Duterte. It apparently has been ongoing for a very long period of time.
Okay, so how did the president personally feel? He said that
He's ballistic because only recently he ordered that the sum of 50 million a month be released, no, to Viluna, to make sure that Viluna will have sufficient funds to cover all medical requirements of members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. And of course, only to find out that bulk of the funds or much of the funds may be going to pockets of corrupt officials of the armed forces.
So remember when he started with the administration, he went there and then checked for himself the facilities. What kind of ghost deliveries did not?
They also include medical equipment,
And medicine?
explaining hence the president's frustrations and anger.
Okay, thank you.
He was personally aggravated when the information on corruption was confirmed, no, in Viluna. Personally aggravated and angered.
Thank you, sir.
Follow-up question, Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, you mentioned President Duterte also ordered the relief of the members of the logistics office of the AFP-HSC. Ilan po kaya ang nandun?
The total number of individuals, according to the Chief of Staff, who will be relieved is around 20.
Is
But
it
I
the
only have 2 names so far, no? But there will be around 20.
Is it the entire office yun, sir? 20?
I suppose the entire office that has to do with procurement will be relieved.
And also, sir, yung larger report, could it include other cases then, sir?
Yes, it definitely involves other cases. That's what angers the president. This is not an isolated transaction. It involves quite a number of anomalous transactions.
Investigation has been concluded, sir.
Yes, that's why there's already a report.
Thank you, sir.
Follow-up, Cristina Bendano.
So, sir, it may balloon to more than 1.4 million, if ever.
Oh, definitely.
So
Definitely.
So the 1.4 million is just an initial.
Yes, that's just one case.
Of
We're talking of, according to the Chief of Staff, and I had a conversation with him, hundreds of millions of pesos.
So yung 1.4 is a current purchase,
It's
sir?
one transaction alone.
So they conspired because if there are 20
Apparently, it's a conspiracy.
involving all procurement,
It was institutional corruption in Viluna.
so if ever, sir, the office will need to be, yung replacements are needed because baka ma-stop yung operations.
Correct. I think there will be widespread and many replacements to be appointed, no? Because according to the Chief of Staff, there will be no less than 20 individuals who will be relieved and subject to court-martial procedure.
Ina Andolong.
Sir, you mentioned kanina yung parang nagkaroon sila ng mga false suppliers. Can you tell us more about how they do this?
Maybe tomorrow. I have the documents, but they're this thick. We'll go through them and we'll make a summary.
Okay. Does
Tomorrow
the-
we can give you more details.
Okay. Sir, at the start of his term pa lang kasi si President Duterte was very keen on putting in
Modernizing the
V
AFP,
Luna
V
specifically.
yes.
Does this mean na yung mga pinangako niyang equipment nakarating ba or affected ba yung mga yon dahil dito sa corruption na to?
Well, I think because of the pervasive fraud in the procurement process, siguro nakarating, but there was definitely overpricing and other kinds of fraud committed.
Follow-up, Pia?
Sir, clarify ko lang yung amount ng ghost deliveries. It's 1.4 million and not billion as
Yes,
earlier.
1.491 million, yes. But several transactions amounting to hundreds of millions of pesos.
So yung 1.4 million, isang transaction lang yun, sir?
Yes, isang transaction lang yun.
Okay.
Follow-up, other issue? RJ?
Sir, business groups yesterday issued a joint statement supporting the economic managers of President Duterte, warning against the shift to federalism. Does the palace take this?
Well, this is the kind of discussion that we welcome as far as charter change is concerned. We want these kinds of discussion. We want people to think deeply about the ramifications, and we welcome all sorts of imports from all members of society. So this is, of course, an input that the president will consider, and we're hoping that the legislators who will tackle charter change will also consider the position of the business community.
Is the president aware of these concerns, sir?
He is now aware of these concerns, and he has said that it's not insurmountable. So po pwede naman po yan pag-aralan at hanapan ng solusyon. Hindi naman po complete na balakin yan para sa charter change.
Has he ever talked to his economic managers about this?
I know that he has, yes. He has listened attentively to what they were saying, but he wants solutions.
Okay, sir. Thank
So
you.
he's looking for solutions.
Justin,
Sir, you mentioned a while ago that the president will have an aerial visit, Metro Manila and
Yes.
Rizal. But will he also personally visit the victims, like for example in several evacuation areas, because they are looking for the president's presence?
I think that is his intention. As to exactly where he will go, he will just be there for security reasons. I think he will go to the areas most affected by the floodings, no? And that will be today. But I don't know exactly what time because he has 4 engagements in his diary today, 2 of which are public, 2 are private. So he may opt to cancel the private meetings, I think, no? If he wants to go.
may follow-up question? Other issue? Ina? Okay, Ina.
Sir, nakarating na po ba kay Pangulo yung reports of yung 6.8 billion ba or million? Billion pesos worth of shabu that supposedly slipped through customs?
Alam po niya na may ganyan at syempre po nagtatanong din siya anong magagawa natin para hindi na mangyari yan, no? Alam nyo, it shows na talagang sophisticated na yung ating mga kalaban dito sa gera laban sa droga, no? Dahil ginagamit nila yung mga ano tawag doon, mga magnetic lifters, no, na talaga naman pag sa loob ng magnetic lifter hindi makikita na X-ray, no? So alam niya po ang pangyayari, may tiwala siya kay General La Peña, may tiwala siya sa PIDEA. Inaasahan niya na magkakaroon ng mas malapit na ugnayan ng PIDEA at ang Bureau of Customs dahil nanggaling naman po sa PIDEA itong si General La Peña, no? So walang dahilan para hindi magkaroon ng mas malapit ang koordinasyon, pero kinakailangan po masok po ito at kinakailangan na ma-identify kung sinong behind this para matrace natin kung sino yung hahabulin para sa mga droga na nakapasok na kung meron nga nakapasok.
It's quite a big shipment, sir. You mean he still fully trusts La Peña despite the fact na malaki yung shipment na nakalusot?
Well, yung circumstance kasi, napakahirap mahanap talaga dahil sa X-ray hindi lumalabas yan kapag nasa loob Yan ang problema dyan. No? So talagang bago na naman itong modus operandi no? ng mga bagong modus to ng ating mga kalaban. At ang alam ko, no, buong paniniwala pa rin at tiwala ni Presidente kay General La Peña at ang nais niyang mangyari is paano masusugpo ito ng matigil na itong practice na ito. At hahabulin pa rin natin yung kung ano man yung nakapasok, kung totoong meron nang nakapasok.
May follow-up? Joseph.
Sir, but dalawa yan. Isang 4 billion na nauna na, tapos ng 6.4. So, this is not a joke, no? But how do you explain that such amount can enter our country despite our very strong anti-drug war?
Well, obviously po, ito yung mga bagong strategiya. No? Sino ba naman mag-iisip na ipapasok yan sa isang equipment na kapag nasa loob hindi nga madidetect. No? So, short of opening all shipment, na imposible naman, kinakailangan sigurong repasuhin yung sistema ng customs. Pero, ito naman po, if it's any consolation, na red flag naman po siya. No? At tignan po natin kung ano pang further steps that we can take para ma-prevent kayong pagpasok ng mga pinagbabawal na gamot, lalo na ng shabu.
Would we have any update on the investigation and efforts to trace 1 ton of
It's
drugs?
ongoing. And of course, the President has given this investigation priority.
How does he feel about this?
He wants to know the bottom of who's behind the importation, and of course, he's raring to apply the force of the law against those behind these importations. But it clearly shows that the problem has an international aspect, no? Because these are imports, no, from other countries.
Does it show that we're not up to par with the strategies of this international drug network?
Well, it shows that we need to be ever vigilant against these international syndicates behind the importation of shabu into the country.
Okay, thank you.
Follow-up? Other follow-up, RJ.
Sir, Fitch and Moody's have also warned of this shift to federalism move. Can you spell out for us, sir, the President's position on this, the implication of federalism on the fiscal policy?
Well, you know, there's disagreement. Like, I disagree with the economic managers. Of
The
course,
President, sir.
I only have, and the President has been listening. He still wants it because he's the foremost proponent of charter change towards federalism. But of course, he wants it done in a manner that will not put the country in trouble, no? But that's why he's exploring now all options and has ordered that everyone should study it. He's asking members of the Congress to look into the matter very seriously because ultimately it's Congress that will submit to the people the proposals, no?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Ina, follow-up. May other issue, Ina?
Sir, may timeline na po ba tayong tinitignan doon sa pagbalik nung Balanghiga bills?
All I can say is what I've mentioned in my press release. We're happy to hear that there's this development, although we will await final word from relevant authorities, both Philippine and U.S.
Sir, just to be clear about it, final na ba yung decision? As
We-
far as you're concerned, is it
We
already
don't
final?
know. That's what I'm saying. We heard reports. We hope they're true, but we await the final confirmation from relevant authorities.
So we don't have a date yet, or a week or a month when it could actually happen, the Balanghiga bills coming back?
We don't have even formal confirmation from our own DFA. So we continue to await words from any advice on this in this regard from the DFA. No? That's why our statement is we're hoping it will happen, but we await the official words from relevant authorities, both American and Philippine.
Lastly, sir, may declaration na po ba ng holiday for Eid al-Adha? They say it's going to be on August 22nd.
Wala pa po ako nare-receive. As soon as we receive ang SOP naman natin, you're first to know through our Viber group.
Rosalie Cos?
Hi sir, official reaction po ng Malacanang, sinususpindi po ng House yun po nga briefing regarding sa budget dahil ayaw po nila ng cash-based budgeting at hanggat hindi naayos ng DBM, hindi sila magkakaroon ng budget briefing.
Kanina po, sabi ko, we are puzzled. Ano ba yung ginamit kong word kanina? Not, well, shocked at saka curious. Ngayon po, we're alarmed. Maybe we should use a more strong language. For the past 2 years, wala pong problema ang palasyo sa budget. Although nung past 2 years na yon, nandun ako sa Kongreso as Deputy Minority Leader, ako yung pinakamaingay sa budget hearing. No? Pero ako lang po yung maingay doon. The rest of the administration congressmen were in full support of the budget. So kauna-unahang pagkakataon to na yung House po na may supermajority na supposedly administration, sila po humaharang ng budget. Parang nabaliktad na po. Baka nga hindi na kailangan na magkaroon ng minority floor leader dahil mukhang minority na yung in power doon sa Kongreso. No? And I realize these are very harsh words. But it's harsh words intended to deliver the message that we are completely shocked at the resistance of the House because we were confident that when there was a change of leadership, we would still deal with very close allies.
So sir, how do we address this concern? Paano natin paano tayo mag-meet? Kasi di po ba inaagad po yung budget?
The ball is in the hands of our allies in Congress. But we're not blinking. We're not scared of a reenacted budget. And the congressmen better ask themselves what will happen to their pet projects because under a reenacted budget, it is Malacanang that will determine which budgets will be implemented.
Okay.
I don't think they want that.
Pia Gutierrez?
Sir, balik lang po dun sa drug shipment. Sir, what does it say about the effectivity of the administration's drug war?
I don't think you can judge the effectivity on the basis of this haul. If at all, we got them twice. Huge shipments, no? So it shows we must be doing something right. But as far as apparently deterring international drug syndicates from importing, we've not made a dent, so we have to be relentless in continuing with our campaign, and we need to discover who are really behind these importations and go after them.
But doesn't this discovery mean that the drug lords are actually emboldened to undertake such a big and sophisticated action? Sir?
I do not know whether or not we can make that conclusion. No? What I can say is kung kulang pa ang ating efforts, dadagdagan pa. Hanapin natin kung sino talaga yung nag-i-import na yan and we will deal with them accordingly.
Nagalit po ba si Presidente nung nalaman niya ito?
Well, syempre, ang iniisip niya, kailangan mahuli na talaga kung sino itong mga nagpapadala ng mga droga nito, kung kinakailangan magkaroon ng kaugnayan with different sovereign states to apprehend them, so be it.
Sir, what's our basis to measure the effectivity of the drug war?
We have the facts and figures po, the total haul, and as you know, we now have record highs of amount of drugs actually destroyed by the state. No? So sa amin, and of course, there's also the super high prices of shabu now in the market, no, which shows that supplies have dwindled.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, questions, MPC? Last question, Joseph Morong.
Sir, yun lang report sa international, no? I think the US conducted overflights over the South China Sea and the West Philippine Sea, and there are 2 warnings, no, from China to the US. First, talking to the US, they said that, and I quote, US military aircraft, Papa 8 Alpha, this is Chinese military, China has sovereignty of the Nansha Islands, Spratlys, including Inaudible Reef and its adjacent waters. Is that assertion correct?
We don't know. I don't have information yet. Investigation will be conducted. Pero if the information is true, the good news is di naman nagpatakot yung ating mga piloto. Tinakot sila, di sila nagpatakot, tinuloy pa rin nila yung lipad nila dahil meron naman talaga tayong teritoryo doon.
Sir, that statement, China has sovereignty over the Spratlys or the Nansha Islands, is that correct?
Well, the Philippine pilots continued their flights. They disregarded that.
So that means?
That means that we are upholding our title. That we are asserting our sovereignty because we conducted the overflight over our islands.
Sir, just the tone. The one that I read to you was addressed to the U.S. military, but this one is addressed to our Philippine Navy. It said, Philippine military aircraft, I'm warning you again, leave immediately or you will bear responsibility for all the consequences. Your comment on the tone.
Tatanungin ko po kung totoo yan at kung totoo yan, tatanungin ko yung piloto kung minura niya.
Why, sir?
Yun ang sagot. Tatanungin ko na kung minura niya. Kasi tinakot siya eh. Malamang mga Pilipino, hindi naman tayo madali matakot dahil matagal na tayong takot.
But where do you think is China coming from with this kind of
I
statement?
don't know. Ask China. As far as the Filipino pilot is concerned, he continued his flight.
And this kind of statement will not stop us?
They will not stop us. We will continue with our flights. We will assert our sovereignty. And if need be, Filipino pilots will die for our sovereignty.
Okay.
Okay, last question, Christine.
Sir, just on the budget suspension by the House, will the President go to the extent of talking to Speaker Arroyo on this matter?
I've only been in contact this morning with Secretary Jokno and Secretary Dominguez, and they were united in saying that we are not daunted by the possibility of a reenacted budget, because that means it's the executive that will choose which projects will be implemented. So that's the information that I got from both of them. So in other words, we're not about to give in. The cash transaction will ensure that only those projects that can actually be implemented will be included in the budget. This is a very good solution to the problem of underspending. We agreed on cash budget for 2018 in the sense that we all knew, I was then a part of Congress, that implementation of projects would have to be only 1 year, and we don't understand why there's been a change of heart this year around, because last year they agreed that project implementation will be only for 1 year and not 2 years as it was in the past. So we're surprised that they're asserting now that it should at least be 2 years. Alam nyo kasi, pag tinuloy natin yung obligation-based, hindi po totoo na 2 years lang implementation yan. 2 years para mabid. Pero yung actual implementation of the projects can be 3, 4, 5 years down the line. Kaya nga, yan yung benefit ng cash base. Kasi hindi lang dapat mabid out, dapat magawa yung project within the year.
So what will happen dun sa cash base if you have a reenacted budget? Hindi mo na ma-reform eh.
Well, ganun din po kasi yung patakaran ng 2018 eh. It has to be implemented within the year. So pareho rin po ang sistema na gagamitin na it will have to be bidded out, obligated within the year. So yun ang mangyayari. 2018 budget and the reenacted budget will follow the same procedure.
Okay.
So will the build program be affected by...
Actually, yun nga pong pinagtataka namin dahil sa Build program po, kinonsider na namin yun kasi executive nga nag-propose nun eh. So wala pong epekto yan sa Build. So hindi po kami talagang convinced na may dahilan para sila itumutol.
So what could be the reason?
Well, I was there, of course, as minority leader, I had to make sure that my colleagues had their pet projects in the National Expenditure Plan, and the executive naman was always willing to listen, no? So wala pong problema yun, dahil para sa taong bayan naman yan. Sila naman talaga ay tunay na representante ng taong bayan. So kung anong kinakailangan nila, dapat mailagay sa budget, pero hindi po yung dahilan para itigil ang hearing ng budget.
Okay.
Ace, last.
Sec, follow-up lang doon sa budget. Since sinabi nyo hindi kayo takot sa reenacted budget, di ba? Parang hindi kayo worried. Pero it has been established na yung reenacted budget prone to corruption yun. Kasi yung mga ibang project na tapos na, nandun pa rin yung budget kasi nga reenacted. How do you reconcile that with the administration's anti-corruption stance?
Well, kaya nga po sinasabi ko, ang magdudusa kapag reenacted budget, ang mga congressmen and their constituents. Kasi hindi congressman nila ang nag-recommend ng projects na mai-implement. It will be the executive that will make that decision for them. Samantalang ngayon, yung mga proyekto na nasa budget yan, lahat ng mga projects nila dumaan sa mga regional development councils at nakapasok po yan sa budget. Lahat naman po yan, bago naging budget, kinuha yung mga pet projects sa mga congressmen sa pamamagitan ng mga regional development councils. Ganun po yung proseso. So kapag reenacted budget po yan, dahil yung mga line items ay nagawa na yung mga karamihan ng proyekto ron, executive na mamimili kung saan gagastosin yung mga pondo.
But may
On
assurance.
an election year. So I think the congressmen don't want that.
So may assurance si executive na in the event na magkaroon ng reenacted budget, wala namang corruption na mangyayari or walang...
Kami po sa executive, kampante kami na walang korupsyon sa aming hanay. Pero I don't think the congressman would want that their pet projects will not be implemented on an election year.
Thank you, Secretary.
So we expect the usual cooperation from Congress soon because together we will provide the needs of our constituents.
Okay, maraming salamat, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Maraming salamat po and see you tomorrow.
Okay, maraming salamat Malacanang Press Corps. Back to main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.
Henceforth, si wag makausap si social itong si Mao, ang phone bag. Colonel. Brigadier General and Colonel. BGM.